Okay. I know I'll have somebody on here in a minute. But hello, everybody, and welcome back to Gemini Twin Ascension. Um, I have a couple things that, like the title says, this is going 12/21. Like I said, this is going to be a New Year's read because I can't do it New Year's Eve like I want to because karmic's going to be home. Um, but there is something that happened earlier today, and I want to share the research that I kind of um, looked up on it because it's a very you know synchronistic for me right now, given what is going to happen here soon. Um, I Christmas with my dad today. He lives over in the next state over, but it's only like a 20-minute drive from where I live. So we went over there. We had Christmas with my dad. My kids were there with the exception of my 17-year-old because he was still in Chicago, which he just got home a little while ago and he had a blast with. Um, but um, but on the way home, I was passing. Yeah, you had to excuse me for a second. Um, I was passing our little power plant that's kind of close to the river. Well, I see this big bird, circling around the water. And I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, well, we have turkey buzzards around here. And I was like, well, it's too big to be a turkey buzzard, and I know we have eagles around this area, but they're very rarely seen. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm watching it as I'm driving, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if it is an eagle, have it turn towards me so I can see its head. And sure enough, when we get about even where this eagle's flying, she drops down and turns and basically looks right into the car. Big, unmistakable. If you ever seen a bald eagle flying, you know that it is very unmistakable that that's what you saw. Bright white head. Oh, she was gorgeous. I kind of waved at her. I said, well, thank you. But when I got home, when I got home, I decided to look up the symbology for it because I knew that there was a reason for me to have seen her because, like I said, we know they're in the area, but they are very rarely actually seen. I think last time I saw one was like 2 years ago. It was around this time actually when my oldest had just gotten to his first duty station. He was still in the military, and I was thinking about him a lot and driving down the highway, and I saw one then. But I knew that there was a reason that I saw her today. So I looked it up, and I have my other phone here because I wanted to. And the karmics messaged me, "Fuck you, I don't want to talk to you right now." But I brought the website up that I was reading earlier. It says the eagle has long been a symbol of dominance, freedom, and dignity. Catching sight of one of these majestic birds is always a special treat. It may also have a deeper meaning for you. You'll learn more about it. Um, it says, I'm trying to find the parts that were really sticking out when I read it earlier. Okay. In some Native American cultures, the eagle is the king of the sky. He travels effortlessly between the land and the sky, soaring high above the clouds. He creates a seamless and direct pathway between us and in the physical world and the great spirit or God, universe, source, whatever you want to call them. So what does it mean when you see an eagle in the sky? Symbolically, the eagle rides the winds of change, telling us that it is time to gather all of our strength, courage, patience, and wisdom in preparation for life changes and transformations. He tells us to be courageous and reach beyond previous limits. He challenges us to match his great vision, the eagle eye, and see objectives clearly from all sides. And he reminds us that when change is imminent, there are only two choices: to be the eagle or become its prey. In other words, adapt to change or let it consume you. as the messenger. The eagle is a messenger, delivering messages to and from spirit and affirmation. Do you ever ask for a sign that your prayers and wishes have been heard? An eagle sighting is confirmation that they have. If you have asked for spiritual guidance, the eagle is your direct connection to the powers that be. The eagle comes with a very clear message that things are indeed about to change and the time is ready. With true change and transformation, we must adopt the eagle's qualities of incredible vision, strength, and fearlessness. He is instinctive and alert at a moment's notice, and I feel my wings kind of, yeah. From his vantage point in the sky, he has a very unique perspective, yet he also has the ability to remain grounded. These are only some of the qualities that certainly make up his unique symbol of change and adaptability. Let's see. Think and imagine beyond constraints. The meanings in the message we receive from animals can, can come in part from our individual connections with those animals, our beliefs, the animal's physical attributes and behaviors, and even a bit of ancient history. Therefore, when it comes to eagle symbolism, it is up to each of us to translate the message and apply it to our own lives. The eagle's impressive qualities, such as courage, vision, focus, and fierce determination, not to mention his physical attributes, are likely what put him at the history. His likeness has adorned flags, statues dating back to Babylon, Rome, Greece, Aztecs, and Mayans, along with many other cultures. In the United States, the bald eagle symbolizes freedom. The eagle is part of many spiritual many did included adorning headdresses with eagle feathers. Eagle feathers were often valued as valuable as the eagle itself. They were usually worn by chiefs, extraordinary warriors, and shamans, imbuing the wearer with eagle qualities. In many cultures, the eagle has been associated with the sun bird, also known as the phoenix, and even a Persian sun god. In astrology, the sign of Scorpio has been a scorpion, a phoenix, and an eagle. I'm a Scorpio moon. Scorpios are known for their piercing eyes. Many of the creation stories and tales from history also connect the eagle to water. With his connection to water, fire, air, and spiritual source, it is as though the eagle represents all elements of a well balanced life. While many traditions depict the eagle's energy as masculine, there are also many that place a distinct feminine power upon the eagle. Most of these traditions represent the balance of energy between earth and sky, life and the afterlife, day and night, and of course, masculine and feminine qualities. In Norse mythology, there is an eagle perched at the top of the world tree at Drogzil, and a squirrel carries a message between this eagle and the serpent dragon who lives at the bottom of this tree. An eagle sighting may point you towards the need to get on top of things, keeping an eye out for trouble or opportunities while also communicating with others who are in different positions who have a different perspective. If you have an eagle sighting, spirit may be calling upon you to take the peace and balance you seek in life and find it first and foremost within yourself. And if you ever ask for guidance, an eagle sighting is your confirmation that spirit is listening. It is also a reassurance that you're never alone. Spirit is always guiding you. Um, Hang on. Now I'll open this on it because I really can't read what's going on. Yep. But the I knew when the main thing I thought of when I saw her is, like I said, um, I knew there was. Hang on, when I saw her is, like I said, that's distracting. Yeah. Um, bald eagles automatically. That is, that is our national bird. You think, freedom. That was the first thought that entered my mind when I saw her. And it's just, the more I was reading that, it was a confirmation things are going to be changing for me. The freedom that I've been needing is coming. Um, and Spirit's confirming that. As if I honestly needed much more confirmation outside of the other day whenever I talked to the medium that was channeling my papa. So it's just, I know it's not going to be easy. It's going to be rough on my kids. They're not really going to truly understand everything yet. And yes, they're still awake. That's kind of why I lowered my voice a little bit. Um, but I know it's what needs to be done. So yeah. And if you've noticed, I have a new backdrop, sort of. Not that whole ugly wall. My dad got me I don't see it very well, beautiful wolf blanket, and I decided I wasn't going to use it. I was going to hang it because I wanted something, a better backdrop in here than the ugly yellow wall and the moon banner. You can't really see the moons on it. And this one has a nice big full moon. Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, um, was there? That's disturbing to look down and see me petting the plate because I have my other phone open so I can actually read your messages a little bit better, Mel. So Melissa, so I don't have to keep doing this and sitting back because the my phone I can't really read that from that far away. But just like I said, I had this feeling that when I first saw the bird, I was like, it's too big to be a turkey buzzard. That's got to be an eagle. And I asked this, just let her turn towards me so I can see her head, so I can know. And she did. She dropped down, kind of almost level with the bridge, and was looking right into the car. And I mean, you could not miss that big, beautiful white head on her. And my 13-year-old was, sitting in the front seat. He looked, Mama, was that a bald eagle? Yeah. He'd never seen one in the wild. It was, I mean, he's seen the nests up here, and he's seen the nests down in Kentucky. And yes, he has seen were caged in zoos. He had never seen one in the wild. So it was a really special treat for him today. But for me, I knew there was a reason that I was seeing her. And yes, I know I keep saying her. It's just the feeling that I get that it was a female. Um, but she was absolutely gorgeous. I don't know how else to describe it. Excuse me. But was there anything else really that I needed to? There wasn't really a whole lot that happened today. Um, Christmas with my dad. I didn't really, not a whole lot of interactions with the karmic because he was talking to my soon-to-be brother-in-law and things like that. So, and since my dad lives over close to where the karmic works, he left for my dad's to go straight to work, and I came home. So there wasn't any little time to deal with it. So that was nice. Was there? I don't know for any of y'all that if you watched my video from last night, it says um the epiphany thing. I'm still in shock about that, Melissa. I don't know if you actually watched that video last night or from last night or not, but I was sitting here talking about Samantha, and it dawned on me that when my twin first messaged me on that app, the reason I felt so drawn to him to message him was because of his eyes. They just seemed so familiar to me. And I know I've mentioned a couple of times that yes, I know Samantha has his eyes, but I didn't make the connection at the time when I was talking about that she was the reason why I felt, such a connection to him, such a, a an urge to respond when he first messaged me, because I had spent 8 years prior to that, dreaming of her, talking to her, consoling her when she'd get upset, and looking into those eyes. But it didn't dawn on me at the time that that was the reason that I knew his eyes. It was because for 8 years prior, I had been looking into our daughter's eyes, and it just, I was in complete shock last night. I sat here after I ended live and honestly cried a little bit because it, it was, it's still difficult to explain, difficult to wrap my head around, but oh, I have two viewers. I wonder if Jess is watching while she's trying to go to sleep. Um, but it was just one of those things that, yeah, I don't feel like digging my light out of my purse. It was just one of those things that I sat there like, holy shit, how could I have not seen this before? Because the shape of her eyes are just like his. There's been a few times where the color has changed, and I think maybe that was possibly, timeline, shifts and things where certain aspects of my DNA or his would have been, incorporated because blue eyes do run in my family. My youngest son has blue eyes. But, yes, the color of her eyes have changed, not very often, but they have a couple of times. But the shape of her eyes has always been the same, and it has always been his eyes. And as many times as I looked at her eyes, you would have thought that I would have recognized them right away, but I didn't. It took me over 2 years to make, well, yeah, to make the connection that that's why I felt so drawn to, answer him, to talk, to make that connection because we were supposed to. And she's the reason that it happened. Subconsciously, I knew, but, you know, I didn't know shit about, the whole twin thing at the time. But subconsciously, I knew that there was a reason I felt that connection. And now I know why I felt it. And it's one of those, my heart, yeah, it's when you know. I know a lot of people have said that when you know. And that's just a little bit more confirmation that he's the one. There's no, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind anymore because that right there was absolutely just perfect. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you, my love, for helping me understand that last night because I knew there was a reason that I had started talking about her. The more I talked about her, because I was, talking about the fact that I had made that breakthrough with my twin when we were talking about, I finally realized that no, I didn't want any more kids. But at the same time, it was that heartbreak that I had carried for 10 years now that she wasn't coming to me like my other kids did. She wasn't going to be born. I wasn't going to get to hold her in my arms. I carried that heartbreak for 10 years, and my twin helped me. I don't think he realizes he did, but he helped me, release that heartbreak from that. When I think about her now, that sadness is not there anymore because I know she's with us. She said, "Mommy, it's going to be okay. You know, Daddy and I still love you." So it's just, you know, that relief, that heaviness that was on my heart for so long is gone. I still feel her around me. I know she's still here and she always will be. I may not get to hold her in my arms. My twin won't get to hold her in his arms, but it's like I said, my twin always wanted a little girl. We've had this discussion before, but he knows that the breast cancer gene runs really high in his family, and he would not be able to handle the guilt of that had she been born. And he had ended up passing that on to her. So that is why in this life she didn't come to us. And I understand that. And I think he understands that too, whether he really truly understands that she's here. Like I said, we've talked about her, but I don't think he truly understands that. Yes, she is here. Yes, he can talk to her. If he taps into it, he can feel her and know, you know, she loves him too. But it's just one of those, um, it feels good. It really does. With all the shit I've been dealing with lately, the release of, you know, something that I've been carrying for a decade now. It's not there anymore. My heart feels lighter. It's eased a lot of things, and I want to talk to him about it. I want to tell him what's happened. But that's one of those conversations that I don't want to have through text message. And phone calls for us are few and far between. So it's going to have to wait. I honestly think it's going to happen soon, but it's going to have to, wait. Um, yes, Papa, I know. You don't need to smoke it at all. I know. Going to work on that as well. But let's see. We are going to do the New Year's reading, and I'm gonna stay with my typical format. Messages from both twins and from spirit. It seems to really work for me. And yes, I do the occasionally do the heart, head, physical, and blockages, but I don't feel that's what I need to be doing tonight. I'm just reading your messages from uh on Facebook, and I'm not even gonna open up Charles messages. I think it's swelling a little bit, but let's see what else. Sometimes I know y'all are listening, but sometimes I really do get the feeling that I'm talking to myself, but I know that y'all are on here because it's showing I have two viewers, which I think one of them's me, which is weird that they would count because I am on my other device on this account, so I don't know why it would be counting me as a viewer. But oh well, I don't care. I don't do it for the views. I do it just to get the stuff out there, and if it helps somebody, even if it's 2, 3, 10 years down the road, somebody comes across this video and it helps any of my videos, and it helps them with that aha moment of I don't have to deal with the shit that I've been going through. That's why I'm doing it. So let's get started. And Melissa, I really wish you could be on the line with me right now, but yeah, it sucks when the car makes her home, doesn't it? That's why I'm doing this tonight because New Year's Eve. I know this sounds bad because nobody should really have to work holidays. And I don't understand why the coal mine of all places made them work New Year's Eve last year. But I was kind of hoping that that would happen again this year because I just really didn't want to. But, all right. Let's feminine. I do have all of my decks out right now. Oh, and my hips are starting to bother me again. Strength stuck in a box. Yet another, you know, symbol of the eagle strength. So let's see. Oh, jumpy. My like I mentioned a while ago that my 17-year-old just caught sight of the Four of Wands. My 17-year-old just got home from Chicago from a trip with his drama group. And while he was up there, bless his heart, this is just how my kids are. They were out shopping, they were killing, just having fun. And he went to a Target store up there. And my 10-year-old collects these, excuse me, Avengers. We joke with him and call them dolls because they're about the size of a ball. But these Marvel action figures, and he's got a bunch of them. And he's always been asking me because Captain Marvel is, one of my favorites. Captain America and Captain Marvel are two of my favorites. And he's always been asking me, Mama, can we try to find a Captain Marvel one? So that way, sometime you can play with me. And we've been looking, and at one point we did find one, but we didn't have the money at the time to get it. Well, Christmas time, I was looking around trying to find one. I went to the the Target store down in Evansville. I went to the store that we'd actually found it at, and it wasn't there anymore. I looked online, and a Target store about an hour and a half from us had one, but I didn't have the time to make the trip over there just for that one thing. Well, while my son was up in Chicago, he went to a Target store up there, and he sends me this picture. He says, "Mama, look what I found." And he had found the Captain Marvel doll. And he used some of his money that he had gotten for Christmas from various family members um, for his trip. He used a little bit of money of his, and he brought the Captain Marvel doll home for my 10-year-old, and it was so sweet. And now, yes, he's counted them. My 10-year-old has 70, not seven, not 1 7, 70, 70 of these Marvel character dolls. I mean, he's got multiple of the Captain America doll because that's his favorite. Kind of funny because that's one of my twins' favorites as well. Um, he's got, too many. Okay, we'll take it. Um, he's got, multiple Iron Mans, multiple Hulks, Thanos, Valkyrie, Black Widow, um, Storm Lord, Star Lord, Rocket. I think one of the ones he doesn't have is Groot, which I think we're gonna have to find it because, yeah, we want, and it was just I thought it was so sweet that he took some of his own money and bought his little brother, knowing how much my his little brother had been looking. We had been searching for this doll for, well, basically since the Captain Marvel movie came out. We had been looking for it. Ignite your passions. We were talking about that last night. So yeah, his little when we got home a while ago, my 17-year-old gave it to me. His little eyes lit up. He's like, "Mama, look!" And of course, I've been sitting on that, knowing that my 17-year-old got it for me. I've been sitting on it since yesterday, Saturday. Yeah, yesterday, uh, knowing that he had gotten it for him, and I was wanting to tell him. But I wanted to keep it a surprise because I wanted my 17-year-old to give it to him. Um, and so it was really sweet. And yeah, I'm rambling, but I'm trying to keep from being silent while I'm shuffling these cards. Oh, what other decks do we need? My 10-year-old came in here earlier because his tablet that he got for Christmas wasn't wanting to turn on, and it works fine. It just ended up that he let it die, and the charger that he had plugged it into in the living room wasn't actually plugged in. But he come in here for me to look at it, and he looks at my bedside table. He says, "Oh, you've got a lot of candles." Ouch. I was like, "Well, yeah, I kind of do." Which a lot of them I burn, kind of on a regular basis. It depends on my mood which one I burn for, connection. Wow. Okay. But some of them are just pretties, like the candles that are up and yes, it did get moved over a little bit. My little mirror shelf up there that's got my selenite on it. Those I won't burn because it makes me nervous about the wax dripping, and yeah, I just think I like it pretty. And it's kind of funny. I changed the candles from a white candle to a red one, and the karmic hasn't noticed. Big Zir. Okay, babe. He's wanting me to pull from our deck. Okay. What do you have to say? Open it up and the lust card falls out. I know this, my darling, but this isn't just for me. One, one, one. Okay. Okay. Please. I might have to look that one up. I always forget what that one means. Okay. So we have five seems like well, my life path number. So yeah, five cards seems like a good go. This. Oh, Melissa, can you hear me okay? Okay. Okay. So to start out with, from the masculine, because we always, for some reason, I always tend to start with the masculine. Let me double check. Um, we have from the beautiful creatures deck, we have temperance, moderation. Masculines are asking us to be patient with them, and we have been, honestly, sometimes a little more patient than we should be. Honestly, we need to learn to start speaking up on certain things that bother us. But temperance is moderation, um, and I'm hearing that New Year's Eve is coming up, and it's almost a warning, especially for my husband. It's a warning to not overindulge. It's easy, New Year's Eve to get caught up in the drinking and the partying and everything. But remember that drinking is a depressant that it will lower your vibration. It makes it easier for um, other things to penetrate your aura that you don't want. Um, it lowers your inhibitions to where you do things that you know wouldn't normally do, which I know the karmic did that. Tried to do that to me a couple weeks ago. He got me drunk thinking that he could get into my pants, and it didn't work because I had enough, you know, sense to call in protection before, I even started drinking. I didn't want to drink as much as I ended up drinking, honestly. But I had enough sense to call in protection, ask the angels to please keep me aware of what was going on so that didn't happen. But the masculines are asking us to please, be careful, don't drink a whole lot, be aware of what's going on around you, just don't overdo it. And then we have the Hierophant, which means traditional values. A wise person um, provides guidance. Uh, some of the masculines are kind of fighting with themselves over, the traditional values. You're not, once you're married, you stay married. Um, not believing in divorce. But the masculines need to remember that stability doesn't always come from the parents staying together. Personally, once my parents divorced, I had a healthier, understanding of certain things. Not as much as I should have because look what I got myself into. But I was happier because I wasn't witnessing that fighting all the time. Traditional values are changing. Um, Out of my mom's side of the family, the the devout Catholic family, there's only two um, of my uncles that are still married to their wives that they married when they were younger. My mom was divorced. My aunt was divorced. My youngest uncle is divorced. The traditional values are changing, and a lot. I mean, I'm not saying that it's necessarily a good thing because so many people rush into a marriage and well, if it doesn't work out, we'll just get divorced, and it's not right. I didn't want, when I got married, I did. This is not what I wanted. I didn't. I wanted. I always said once married, always married. Things change. So, the traditional values are being examined, against what they truly believe and what they want versus, what society tells them they should do. So they're really, really looking at that, but knowing in their heart what they want and knowing that the situations that they're in right now, it's not what they want. They want their feminine. They want to be there with her. They want a life with her. They want, they want to travel with her. They want to, do all of these things that they've always wanted to do, but they want to do them with her. And if they hold on to those traditional values, they know they're not going to be able to. So, and then we have from the Angels and Ancestors deck, it says grow within your current situation. Um, Learn from mistakes that you've made, learn what, you know, they're telling the feminines to learn. What was that? Look at everything as either a lesson or a blessing. Um, right now, my confidence is changing. My abilities to speak up are changing. And that's growth, honestly, because for so long I would keep my mouth shut. I wouldn't say, what I really wanted to. And it's kind of a nod from the masculines, they see our growth, they see our, you know, how far we've come. And I actually, the other night when I was writing, I had a little channel come through from my twin. You know, I see how your confidence has, grown, and I'm proud of you. And I'm proud to know that I helped with that because he did. I'm not going to lie. A lot, some of the changes I have made are because of him. Some of them are just because, I got tired of the situations I was in and said, okay, that's enough. But okay, for the Viking Oracle, because yes, I still learn. Huh? Is that number one card? Cool. Um, we have Fehu. Yeah, Fehu. Oh yeah, I pronounced it right the first time. It says the skills and gifts you have within you are your greatest treasure. They will never be stolen. Pay attention to the way you view the links between personal power and wealth. Prosperity needs to be developed over time and shared. See that um, earlier tonight I made a comment in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in, um, about, you know, it's okay to ask for help, but know that everything that you need to know is within you. You just have to listen. And this right here is saying the skills and the gifts that you have within you are your greatest treasure. You know, tap into your own power. Don't forget to call it back to you. If you give some of it away, don't forget to call it back and send anything um, back to whoever it came from that you ended up internalizing. But let's see. Symbol of prosperity within the Viking paradigm. The Vikings also relied upon the development of a variety of skills: boat builders, carpenters, stonemasons. Yeah, we all have our innate abilities that are seem to be ingrained in us. It's a lot of it is remembering things that we learned from past lives that we just um, do automatically without realizing it. And it almost goes into what I was talking about last night with the passions, the things that you're passionate about, learn more about it, research it, the things that excite you. There's a reason that they excite you, and just go for it. And then we have, which I really, is that I'm not sure if that's a raven or an eagle, but from the deck that I communicate very well with my twin on, we have message. Um, a lot of twins are in somewhat consistent communication. Others are, it's spotty, but it's coming back. More consistent. Um, I know right now my twin can't talk a whole lot, and I know why. and the cards that came up last night kind of confirmed that for me. The karmic situation that he's in, she is very watchful of him. I'm trying not to, speak very negatively about her because, I really don't know her. We don't really talk about either karmic. So I don't know her that well. I just know little snippets here and there of what he's told me about her. And I do know that she has gone through his phone before looking for, she said she thought that he had, alternate Facebook accounts, alternate Twitter accounts, whatever, and he doesn't. But she went through his phone looking for these things. So I know that she's a little bit controlling. I don't know how often that happens. I'm not going to ask. I don't need to know because I already have a little bit of a dislike for her simply because she gets to spend so much time with. And I see, memes and things like this all the time on Pinterest and Instagram. I'm jealous of someone that gets to spend so much time with you. And yes, I am. She's there when he wakes up. She's there when he gets home. I mean, she spends a lot of time with him. So I do have that little bit of a dislike towards her just for that reason. I don't know her. So it's honestly not fair for me to act that way towards her. And I'm working on that. But I can't help it. I want him here with me. I want to be able to spend time with him. And it's hard. Uh, so from the feminines to the masculine. Yeah, that's what I thought. We have the Queen of Wands, determination. The feminines um, are letting the masculines know that we are determined to make this work. We are determined to, be with them. I'm not going to say it at any cost because um, that's not right. You know, there's a lot of people that can be hurt in some of these situations, and it's not fair. We want to do this, as fairly and with as the least amount of collateral damage as we can. But we are determined. We are doing our work for it to happen. But at the same time, we have the Four of Cups, boredom, the discontentment. We are, a lot of us very unhappy in the situations that we're in right now. And we're working to free ourselves from those. Um, and this is where she will, uh, and this is honestly for the feminine and masculine. It says, unleash the wild within. Um, it's a little reminder that the masculines need to play a little more. I know my twin can be a little cheeky, frisky and everything like that, but it's wanting them to play and remember the joys that they have in life. It's not always about work. Um, like this, the picture of this is there's a full moon behind it, and this native woman has a headdress on, but it's also got a wolf head on it as well. Beautiful baby. But we all have a little wildness in us, and it's okay every once in a while to let her loose, in moderation, like the masculine was reminding us. It's it's kind of turning the masculine's words back on him. Yes, you're reminding us of the moderation for that, but you need to have the moderation in your work as well. It can't always be all about work and money and things of that nature. You have to find the joy. And then we have Ingus, Number 22. This is from the Viking deck. Um, what do we have? Did I pronounce it right? Dun, dun, dun. It says profound strength is a definite theme tonight. Thank you, Eagle. Profound strength grows slowly. Do not take shortcuts. Make use of stored power. The positive power of the masculine is available for all, not just for the masculine. I'm trying really hard to get that to work. Take action and learn by doing. Um, this rune is a masculine, is the rune of the masculine divine masculine. Represents the active doing power of the masculine. It advises that it is fertile and explosive power. Its fertile and explosive power is available to us. That if we store our strength, I'm not reading another room because the pages one, and energy over time, we can release it towards something we want. And I did pronounce it wrong. It's ingwaz. It's both a powerful rune of manifestation and expression of the moment of powerful centering before the manifestation is invoked. This gradual increase of strength is applicable to our mind and mental powers, as well as to our body and physical powers. Mentally, we develop the focus we need to complete a difficult process or task in the same way that we develop physical strength in the gym. Ingwaz can be used as a fertility talisman for both men and women and was a symbol of male mysteries in the Viking society. I remember this one, the fertility, because I remember drawing this rune because it's the two X's, one on top of the other. I remember drawing this rune for Ophelia, and it does kind of mean fertility, but a lot of us have been going into hermit mode, storing our strengths, calling our powers back, because we know that there's a big move coming soon, and we're going to need all the strength we have for it. This fight will be the last fight. Okay. And I, I always forget what this one, the fledgling. It is the first card in this deck, actually. It says, Dear one, when you receive the symbol of the fledgling, know that you are blessed with a time of learning new things. This is a time for you to remember that you cannot know things until you experience them. You don't know things, you don't know what you know until you know it. Being in this evolving state means you may stumble a bit. Don't expect yourself to be perfect. Now is the time for being gentle with yourself as you step into your destiny to become a beautiful person, the beautiful person you're meant to be. When the fledgling appears to you, it is a sign of new growth and wonderful new opportunities. Step forward with curiosity and a willingness to learn and discover. This is almost a message to the feminine themselves, but it's also a message to the masculine that it's time for them to start learning a little bit more. I know my own masculine knows about the twin flame stuff. 1:14 a.m. Thank you. I love you too. Um, I know he knows about it. We've talked about it a little bit, but the feminines are asking the masculines to, learn a little bit more about it, understand what they're dealing with, understand their feelings on it. I honestly think my masculine is working towards that, because it's kind of funny. I saw, yes, I don't do this often, but I did check his Twitter earlier today. Something just told me to, and he shared, he he liked this picture, which I've seen it floating around on Instagram and everything, of someone took a picture of the moon for 365 days from the exact same spot at the exact same time every day. and it actually makes if you've ever seen it, it actually makes almost a kind of a lopsided infinity symbol. But I think it was almost his kind of a little nod that, yes, babe, I know you're watching. Yes, I know that you watch the moon phases. Yes, I'm trying to learn, but it made me smile because it's just another one of those things that we have in common. Um, of course, we the whole Marvel thing. He absolutely loves Marvel movies. We've talked about having a Marvel. Please stop. We've talked about having a Marvel movie marathon in bed before, because now with the Disney Plus app, you can watch so many of the Marvel movies, with the exception of the Supermans. They're not on there. I don't know why, but well, Sony owns them. But we've talked about that, and he said that just sounds just so perfect. And then our love of horror movies, and there's just there's a lot we have in common. But that whole liking that moon picture, it was kind of almost like his little nod to me. Yeah, babe, I know you're watching, and I'm working on it. And a lot of the masculines will be stepping into that, learning more, but it's just the feminines are asking them to please help us. We're doing the work, but we want y'all to rise up as well. And if you don't have that understanding of spirit and the chakras and the vibrations, if you don't have that understanding, I'm eventually going to be up here and you're still going to be here. So please, a fledgling eventually takes flight. It's time to start testing your wings. It's time for you to start learning so that we can be on that even plane to be able to finally come together. It's just yeah. Okay. And then we have, ooh, really not. I moved the car because I have my essential oil box. It's kind of my little tripod and how I do my videos. My essential oils box in front of me, and I had some cards on top of it. And whenever I moved them, I got a whiff of one of the bottles. Not sure which one it was, but it smelled really good. Thank you. What? Ha! Wow. I just really noticed that. Okay. We're going to. Well, where'd you go? Oh, yeah. Ooh. Law. King of Swords. We have. I'm going to look up something because the word on right there in front of me. Um, we do have the Four of Cups coming out again, but it's a beautiful creatures deck, and sometimes um, there's odd meanings to these. Well, basically the same thing, but I don't. Emu, Ennui. But it's basically, um, yes, right now we're almost feel disconnected at times, and spirit knows this, and but it's a test for us. It seems like not a whole lot is happening in our connection, and it's a test. Are we, we're getting bored with it? Are we going to go down a different path, find more excitement, or are we going to use this time of what seems like dullness and boredom to go within and do a little bit of inner healing? And I've I did like I said, I did a little bit of that. I talked about my daughter and the understanding and the letting go of heart, that heartache. Um, so then, there was a reason my twin went silent on me. I know this. There's always a reason. But then we have the the King of Swords. I'm gonna look at something in the because it says dealing with the law and King of Swords. Often a police officer, military positions, extremely articulated, razor sharp minds. In his presence, you get a distinct feeling you are being evaluated. It's um what? It says the King of Swords is careful where he places his trust, but he makes an excellent friend who gives good advice. It's dealing with, law enforcement, police officers, or government enforcement agencies. Um, okay, it's time to, yeah, my love, it's time to find out exactly what your rights are and aren't right now in regards to your work visa. Um, but uh, a lot of the twins will be dealing with um, legal issues, divorce, possibly, immigration status things, and seek out advice from, people that can help, whether it be lawyers, family members that have gone through situations that, kind of know the laws. So, um, and then we have the Shaolin Master from the Angels and Ancestors. It says, be graceful in movement and action. And this goes back into what I was talking about a while ago about the collateral damage. You want as little of it as possible when you're moving through, situations that can potentially hurt someone. So, don't just don't be rash about it. Um, Not that some of the karmics deserve, that grace, that ease, that caringness, um, that spirit is asking us to use. Well, that's the ego talking. Sorry. Um, they yes, they have hurt us, but that's not who we are. We want to do this in a peaceful, still loving manner. Be very tactful. There's going to be collateral damage. That's in certain situations, it's going to be unavoidable. Someone is going to get hurt. But spirit's asking us to, allow them to guide us to where we can do it, you know, with the least amount of hurt for anyone. Wow, that was something hit hard on that one. Don't get me wrong, the karmic pisses me off to no end. Bad, a lot. But I do still love him. But I can love, love him from afar. The minute that, your treatment of me does not measure up to my own, vision of self worth, I'll have no problem loving, the memory of you. And that's the point I've gotten to, that, I will always love him. He is the father of my children. We've spent, you know, 23 years together, but I can love the memory of who he used to be. I can't love, I can't love the man he's become. I know what's still in him, what he's, capable of being. He just refuses to do it. And that is one of the life lessons for a Taurus is to overcome inertia, to, not be opposed to change. And he is not an evolved Taurus. He is stuck in his ways. Yeah, he'll try to change every once in a while when it suits him, when he thinks it's going to get him what he wants. But the minute he's unhappy with what's going on, he reverts right back to who he is. So the Viking Oracle message from Spirit is Big Vizier. Um, yeah, this is, I actually have, we actually have this symbol. I don't know how well you can see the symbol on her forehead. We actually have this symbol on the back of our Durango, but it says we are never truly lost unless we choose to be. We each have a purpose, God's given gifts, and direction to fill that purpose. Even in the direst of times, know that you are loved and protected. You can find your way, even if the way seems hidden to you. That big big vizier is a compass. Um, I don't know why I even had to read that. I knew this. Um, you know, we may at times seem like we're floundering on this journey. We don't know which way to go. We don't know what to do. And I've told this to Ophelia before, because she's asking, well, what do you think I should do? And a lot of times my answer to her is listen to your intuition. Um, we have that inner compass in us, and if that compass seems a little wonky, we have spirit. Open yourself up. Hey, I need that help. Please guide me, show me the way. But the whole free will, you have to let them know I need the help. But that inner compass is there. You just have to learn to use it. And then from we have letting go. And this could be mean several things. Letting go of karmic relationships, letting go of the way you think things should be. Surrender the outcome. Um, Letting go of things that no longer serve you. That it is the end of the year. Let go of the bad things that happen throughout this year. Look at, yeah, this happened. Yeah, this hurt me. Yeah, this upset me. But what did I learn from it? That is the best thing you can do. What did I learn from that situation? Take the lesson from you, or take the lesson from it. Let go of the emotions of it. Heal it, let it go. That's what Spirit's asking us, and that is, a perfect card to come out. Thank you, babe, for that, for asking me to pull those. The perfect card to come out for a New Year's reading. We cannot hold on to things. We have to let them go. I'm sitting here talking, trying to put cards up as well. Um, and that's, for some reason, I keep going back to talking about my daughter. That's kind of what I've done. I let go of that sadness because I understand now, you know, why she's not here. Yes, I'm sad I'm not going to get to hold her, but that sadness is honestly nothing compared to what my twin would have felt if, something had happened to her and he knew that he was responsible for that because he's told me um, before I always wanted a daughter, but it wasn't meant to be because, breast cancer runs really high in my family. So, I understood that. And um, it would have been selfish of me to expect him, knowing what he knows, to expect him to written Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the deck, to expect him to risk that. I don't want him hurt that way. I don't want him worrying about her. I would much rather her be, with us in spirit, helping guide us, sending us little signs when she wants to. I would much rather have her here that way than for him to feel that heartbreak, the guilt that I know he would carry. And it has helped me release so much of my own pain around the situation that it's indescribable. And that's where that letting go card comes in. Heal it and let it go. Do not become whatever has happened to you this year that you're harboring animosity towards somebody for, that you're um, harboring anger at yourself for. Uh, Figure out why and just, give it the finger and let it go. Just don't let it hold you back. And I'm hearing that really, you're going to let the play the Frozen song in my head now. Um, but it's a it's I know it's cliche. New year, new me. Quite honestly, no. It's not going to be a new me. Will I change a little more? Yes, I will grow, but I am not going to completely change. I'm not going to, leave behind the lessons that I've learned this year. Like, for one, Karmic's not going to change. He's got his temper tantrums. He's got his violent strength, his anger issues. It's not ever going to change, no matter what he says. And I've come to terms with that. He's always, bitching and griping, and he loves throwing the fact that I flat told him I don't trust you because I told him I said that's why, because he kept asking why don't you want to, why? And finally one day I looked at him and said, you want to know why? You really want to know? He's like, well, yeah. I said, I don't fucking trust you. You broke your promise when you told me that you would never put your hands on me like that again. You broke that promise, so I don't trust you anymore. And of course, he starts going, well, I trusted you to do this, I trusted you to do that. I'm not the perfect wife, God knows that, but 111. Okay. I asked for my card kind of for the masculine, his overall energy for now. And we have Prometheus, altruism, make a decision or start a project for the good of all. Seek out a healthy balance between yourself and others. And it's, altruism, wanting to help others but a lot of them are doing that at the detriment to themselves. They're, you know, forgetting the self care. Um, let's see. Yeah, and there's quite a bit about Prometheus in here. Yeah. See, it says right here, the shadow side can be revealed when we choose to help others solely for our own ends, or when we completely forget our own responsibilities. If we are a passionate activist, perhaps it is easy to forget that our friends and family, not just our causes, need us. I just dealt with this, and yes, I apologize to her about it. For example, many indigenous cultures have been damaged by well-intentioned missionaries purporting their one true faith and cultural way of life they felt best. Trail of Tears forced conversion to Catholicism and Native American. Yeah, I don't know why that's coming up, but uh, but the masculines are wanting to help others, but they're forgetting about themselves in the process. They're giving too much of themselves away, and goes back to moderation. Hmm. How do you like having your words thrown back at you, babe? Don't overdo it. Yes, I love you. My twin is a sweetheart. He really is. Okay, so we did a card, and I will eventually get the goddesses and sirens deck that, you know, the companion deck that goes with the gods and sirens deck. But for now, I have my divine feminine oracle, so we are going to pull one for, I don't even know how long this is, and I'm not sitting up to look. We're going to pull one card for the feminine, see what kind of a little bit of advice that spirit may have for her, or just words of encouragement. Just one card, please, for the feminine. And I know a lot of times y'all see me shuffling and you don't really hear me asking the questions. Um, I'll be sitting here talking about something else, but right now I really don't have a whole lot of other stuff to talk about, so I'm talking out loud. I just want one card, either, advice or encouragement, please, for the feminine. One more shuffle. And there we go. Thank you. And we have Sarada Devi, the Divine Mother. Unconditional love exists within us. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. I just heard something. What was that? You can't tell somebody I love you, but, and that be unconditional love. And that's kind of, why I realized that the karmic is not for me, because, I love you, but you continually hurt me, whether, it's intentional at all the time or not. Um, but with my twin, it's, I love you, no matter what. I'm here if you want to talk. I'm here if you just want to sit there in silence together. Um, there's no conditions on my love for him. He's upset me before, yes, but when you have that understanding of, what they're going through, it makes things a little bit easier. You can't, you know judge someone and call it love. You either accept them as they are, flaws and all, or you don't. We all have our issues. We all have our flaws. And ow, Bradley smacked me in the face a while ago and scratched me. My dog. I love him. But, well, I'm sitting there saying you can't love somebody and I love him, but yeah, I do love that dog. But he smacked me while I'm going to scratch my face. Yeah, well, that's what it is. Let's see. I think we'll do one moon card for everyone for some reason. Just because I think I've already gone over. Yeah, I have over an hour, and I wasn't intending on it being this long. But like I said, I'm not going to be able to do one New Year's Eve unless I can get the comic to drink himself to pass out before midnight, which I'm not going to risk that. We have message to close out the reading, and I'm going to look at the book just because I am closing the reading out on this one. We have the Waxing Gibbous 6 action. It's, yes, Papa, I know. It's time. The time has come to take action. Let go of your paralysis. Let go of your burdens step by step. Yeah, I really don't need to read any more out from that because it's time to stop being all talk. It's time to put your money where your mouth is and do what you say you're going to do. Nut up or shut up, basically. Um, with this new year, things are going to change. Things are going to get better. You just have to believe in it. Quit with the questioning, the well, why is this happening? Doubting your connection when you know uh, what is true, what is right. It's time to do. It's time. I could sit here and rattle on so many different things that it's time for. But if you're watching this, okay, honey, thank you. If you're watching this, when I say the words, it's time, you know what it's time for you to do. I can't tell you. Nobody else can tell you what it's time for you to do but you. Yes, I have, my papa, I have friends and everybody that are telling me, yes, it's time. But it's something that I've known for a while. You know, I go back through my journals from the past 2 years when I started writing, which it's been about 2 years around this time that I actually started writing a lot. And I can tell that I've known from almost the beginning that when I started writing that this was coming. So, you know, I've had time to prepare myself. Am I completely ready? No, I'm not. I don't have a job to support myself other than my oils, which it's slow going. Um, I haven't even looked for another place to live because I'm not staying here. He can have this house. I can't afford to fix everything that needs to be fixed in this house. It needs a new roof, needs a new bathroom floor, needs an HVAC system, it needs new windows. I'm pretty sure the floors need to be, the foundation needs to be rebraced. There's just this house is almost 120 years old. There is a lot that needs to be fixed, and I can't afford it. He can have it. I'll have to find, rent a place or something, whatever. But I haven't thought it, I haven't even looked at that kind of stuff yet. So am I fully prepared? No, but I know I need to do it. And I know that when it comes down to it, I will have the help and support that I need to get it done. Not just there, but I've got family members backing me. And he hasn't come out and said it, but my dad, I truly believe he knows it's coming because here lately we do owe him money. He gave us the money for the down payment on the Durango, which don't think we really needed, but the karmic said we did, so we ended up, you know, he hasn't really he's mentioned it a few times in passing, but he hasn't really hounded me about it. Um, and he's trying to, help me get money in other ways, like these storage units that he has. He's been bringing some of the stuff from these storage units over for me to personally sell, whether I put them on eBay or list them in yard sale pages on Facebook or whatever. He's brought them over to me to sell for me to keep the money. So I think he knows that it's coming, and he's trying to help me without making it obvious to the comic that that's what he's doing. So with that being said, I'll probably post, maybe a little mini read, uh, just a card picture reading on Instagram New Year's Eve if I can, but I won't be able to do a live. With that being said, I hope everyone has a happy new year. Remember, if you're going out celebrating, remember moderation, be safe. If you're going to drink, don't drink and drive. Please be safe and have a happy new year. And thank you for watching. And my device is too far away.